There are so many little touch points in your home. Things you interact with every day or at least look at every day as you go about your life. Most are functional, some are purely aesthetic. But all of these things impact your quality of life for better or worse. Like if a light bulb is out, it's going to bother you every time you walk into the room. This video is all about optimizing all of those little things around your house or apartment to make sure that your space is working for you and not against you. Starting in the bedroom, if you catch my meaning. Motorized blinds. When we bought the house that we live in now, most of the windows didn't have any coverings. And after some research, we realized that motorized blinds weren't that much more expensive than manual ones. I was surprised by this, and honestly, I thought that motorized blinds were unnecessary, maybe even gimmicky, but my wife thought they were a good idea, and she was right. They're amazing. They reduce wear and tear because there's no strings, there's nothing to break, nothing for kids to play with. They make it easy to control shades that are behind furniture, like behind your sofa or bed. You can raise or lower multiple shades with one push of a button. These electric motors only need to be charged like once every 6 months. You can either get little solar panel chargers if you never want to think about it. I'm not saying that I would replace good working manual blinds with these, but if I was buying new window coverings anyway, I would definitely consider paying just a little bit more for the motorized variety. Blackout shades. Even if we didn't get electric shades, we were definitely going to get blackout window coverings, especially in the bedroom. It makes such a huge difference, especially during summer when the sun comes up early. If you combine blackout shades with a white noise machine, you're on your way to the best sleep of your life. King size bed. If you have the space and the funds, I highly recommend getting a king size bed. It feels so much bigger than a queen size bed. It's like you and your bedmate each have your own little island. Sure, you can cuddle up in the middle if you want, but when you're ready for your own space, you know that there's a nice, cool patch waiting for you off to the side. And that's one of the biggest benefits of going king size. It's so much cooler because you have a lot more space between bodies. Plus, if you have kids, they're going to think your king size bed is a trampoline, and it's a bit safer to jump on than a smaller bed. Wireless bedside charger. I don't think wireless charging is necessary everywhere. Wired charging is still way faster. But there's one place where it makes sense, and that's the bedside table. Your nightstand. I know we're not supposed to have our phones in bed, blah, blah, blah. But I usually listen to like an audiobook or a podcast to help me fall asleep. Otherwise, it's just me and my memories and regrets. Anyway, the thing is with the charging table, I often forget to plug my phone in because I fall asleep while I'm listening. And the cord likes to fall off the back of the nightstand, and it can be hard to find the cord in the dark. If I need my phone in the middle of the night, looking at you, Reese, it can be hard to unplug it and plug it back in the pitch black dark. So a MagSafe wireless charger just makes sense. I like this 2-in-1 charger from Native Union via Huckberry because I can charge my AirPods at the same time. So when I wake up, my phone and AirPods are both ready to go fully charged. Soft closed toilet seats. Why do regular toilet seats even exist anymore? Don't manufacturers know that soft close is available? The only downside to a soft closed toilet seat is that you get used to them and then you end up slamming regular toilet seats. And then everyone wonders why you're so upset, and it's like, I'm upset because you don't have soft closed toilet seats in your house, Gary. That's why the best move is just to have soft close throughout the house in every bathroom. Actually, one of our toilets still needs this upgrade, so do as I say, not as I do. Entryway storage. I know that newer houses have like mudrooms and foyers with plenty of storage built in, but our old 1950s rancher just opens up right to the living room. There's no hallway or built-ins. And I'll be honest with you, this area is always a bit of a mess. It's just a natural dumping grounds for things like bags and shoes and mail. To help with this, we added 3 things, and by we, I mean my wife and I put my name on it. 1, this IKEA shoe cabinet. This is a shallow cabinet. It's just deep enough for shoes stored kind of vertically, and it's bolted into the wall. It comes in white, but my artsy wife added this cool wallpaper to make the unit look less IKEA. It also has a small drawer up top that becomes kind of a junk drawer, and then a surface that we can use for like valet trays to keep our keys and sunglasses in my wallet. 2, this pegboard. I think this one is from Etsy, and the cool thing is you can customize it with different hooks and pegs. So you can add different size shelves, or you can just use hooks to hang things like backpacks and hats, which is what we do. 3, this bench. We actually got this from a local craftsman. It's the perfect size for this space, and it's nice to have something near the door that you can sit on to take your shoes off and put your shoes on. We also store like our house shoes and slippers underneath it. The coat hooks over the bench are also from Etsy. I got this a long time ago and have brought it to all the different places that I've lived. We mostly use it for hats and sweaters and jackets. Taken together, these 3 things are a huge improvement over what we had. Sure, the space still gets messy. Yes, I cleaned it up for this video. It doesn't always look this tidy, but it's much better than what we had. The right light bulbs. When we moved in, all of the overhead lighting in our house had these ultra bright white daylight bulbs. They felt kind of out of place in like the living room and the bedroom. It's fine during the day, but like in the evenings or when you're eating dinner, it's kind of weird to have these bright daylight bulbs. So I replaced most of them with slightly dimmer, warmer bulbs, and the whole vibe changed. I think there's a right type of bulb in terms of brightness and light quality for every room. Like in our bedroom, I put a super low wattage, extra warm bulb in the bedside lamp, and it produces a nice, cozy feel. But then like in the kitchen, you might want bright daylight bulbs. My point is I recommend putting a little bit of thought into what kind of light you want in each room and during different times of day. Swapping out light bulbs is a relatively easy and affordable way to upgrade the look and feel of your space. Night lights. Speaking of lighting, here's an even easier and cheaper way to improve the vibe and the safety of your home. Buy a multi-pack of dim, light-sensing night lights and put them in a few key places. I have one in each bathroom and one in the kitchen. The light only comes on when it's dark, and the sensor is very reliable, and it just creates this nice soft glow. It's just enough to see where you're going without having to turn on the light. This is great for midnight snacks or trips to the bathroom, midnight snacks in the bathroom. Seriously, they're great, they're cheap, you should buy some. Houseplants. This one is fake. You can improve almost any room with a houseplant or 3. Seriously, any room. I'm talking the kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, closet. My go-to is the trusty old pothos. This is a fast-growing vine that can tolerate really any kind of light, and it's easy to propagate, so you can buy one, and in a year you could have like 20 of them. Tiny succulents work well for smaller places, and they're very hard to kill. They require very little water. I like putting them on shelves. A larger leaf plant can add a dramatic touch to any corner, although these can be higher maintenance. If a plant's not doing well, just move it somewhere else. It might just need a different kind of light. But if you want your space to look and feel a bit more sophisticated, just add a plant. Floating shelves. Shelves are a great alternative to wall art, especially for those of us who live in smaller homes. You know, a picture on the wall is purely decorative, but if you put up a shelf, it can be decorative and functional. I like floating shelves. They're a bit harder to install, but they look better. They look more integrated with the actual structure of your home. What should you put on your shelves? Anything. Sometimes it makes sense to store stuff there that you use regularly, that you want within arm's reach. Or you can just display some of your favorite objects. I recommend choosing meaningful things like gifts that people gave you or souvenirs from different places. When in doubt, go to a local maker's market or hit up thrift stores to find something interesting. Try to avoid buying stuff from like Target or IKEA just to fill the space. A high quality dish rack. We all know those cheap plastic drying racks that get all gunky and move around when you try to use them. Those are fine for recreational dishwashers. But for power users, you're going to want something with a bit more horsepower. I'm talking commercial grade, like this Simple Human heavy-duty dish rack. Now, I'm the go-to kitchen cleanup guy around this house, and with 2 young kids and a wife who likes to cook, I do a lot of dishes. I don't mind at all. It's actually pretty satisfying. I put on a podcast and it becomes a zen-like experience. And this dish rack was a huge upgrade. Finally, there's enough space for a whole day's worth of bottles and utensils and cutting boards. When I empty the dishwasher, there's room for all the stuff that's still wet. Looking at you, Tupperware. My wife actually got this drying rack for me as a birthday present, which just goes to show how well she knows me. One of the best gifts I've ever received, 10 out of 10. GFCI outlets. When we bought our old house, the inspector noted that the outlets were all old and should probably eventually be replaced. Given that we had a 1-year-old and another bun in the oven, we decided to just get it done. So we ponied up and had all of the outlets replaced with the latest and greatest GFCI variety. I didn't even know these kinds of tamper-proof outlets existed. Like these new outlets, you can't get shocked by sticking your finger in them. Even if you put a metal object into one of the slots, you still won't get shocked. It's not that they're 100% safe, but they're way safer than the old ones. Now, we don't tell our kids that they're safe. We still treat them as if they're dangerous because we don't want to encourage our kids sticking forks into outlets in general. But it's nice to know that in our house, the outlets are modern and safe. They're also just better than a lot of the old outlets. Plugs stick into them better. They all have 3 prongs. This wasn't a cheap upgrade, but it was worth the money in my opinion. Modern light switches. Similarly, we swapped out all of our old mismatched light switches for modern ones that are all the same in every room. This is a pretty cheap upgrade, and it makes a difference because you interact with light switches all day, every day. We went with the rocker style switches throughout the house, and we made sure that any panels with multiple switches were in the right order. A small but noticeable improvement to everyday life. A fresh coat of paint and accent walls. A fresh coat of paint goes a long way, and this is true whether you buy a new house or an old one. Even if you're renting an apartment, a fresh coat of paint or an accent wall can really change the look and feel of your space. A lot of new houses are painted with this builder grade white or gray paint, and some higher quality paint, even if you stick with white, will look a lot better. It's going to feel cleaner and brighter. But while you're at it, I recommend doing a couple of accent walls. It's really not much more expensive. It's just a couple extra pints of paint because you don't need much for one wall. And these just make your living space feel so much more customized and unique. We did accent walls in the dining area, in our bedroom, and also the kids' room, and I feel like the whole house just has so much more personality now. Like, our bedroom legit feels like a hotel room. I love going in there. So yeah, fresh paint and an accent wall. Mini split air conditioning. So this is a big ticket item. It is not cheap, although it's way cheaper than like replacing your HVAC. Splits are small climate control units that are built into the wall permanently, so they're kind of somewhere in between like a window unit and central air. And they're great for cooling down a room or a part of the house that the HVAC doesn't reach, or just for like cooling or heating a room without spending the money to cool or heat the whole house. We got one in the bedroom because I sleep way better when it's cold. You know, we don't want to blast the whole house every night. That's expensive, and we also don't want the kids' rooms to be super cold. This was an expensive upgrade, but it was worth every penny to me. I have the mini split on a schedule, so at like 7, 8 o'clock, it starts cooling the bedroom all the way down to 65 degrees, and then it shuts off in the morning. I'm telling you, it's an absolute game changer, especially if you tend to run hot in bed. Mini split. Keyless lock. In a perfect world, we wouldn't need any physical keys. You know, every lock would be digital and preferably automatic. Like if you got close to a door, it just unlocks. We're not quite there yet, but you can still replace locks with keyless versions. I haven't done this throughout the house, maybe one day, but we did replace our shed lock with a keypad. We use this shed a lot to store like bikes and yard equipment and toys, but I didn't like going in the house and finding the shed key every time I needed to open it. The keypad is so much more convenient. I would love to have this kind of lock on like the front and back doors too, but that's a bigger project, maybe one day. Shower heads. Showers with weak water pressure are like socks that slide down your calf. Disappointing. Oftentimes, it's just the shower head that's the problem. And this is great because compared to like hiring a plumber, getting a new shower head is easy and cheap. I actually like really simple shower heads, not the kinds with like a million different spray options. I don't like the rainfall ones. They never have good pressure. Just a simple, powerful shower head. So if you're not happy with the pressure in your shower, I would consider a new shower head before more expensive and involved fixes. Everything I mentioned here is something that I bought that I actually use in my own space. I hope you got a couple of good ideas from this video. And I want to hear from you. What's an upgrade, big or small, that had an impact on your house or apartment? Let me know in the comments section. Thank you as always for watching, and until next time, stay stylish.